Hey guys, I'm Jenna, also known as ALA13. This is part 2 of my how to prep miniatures tutorial for beginners. Let's get started. Sometimes plastic miniatures come a little bit bent, just due to the way that they were shipped, and this is very easily fixed with either warm water or a hairdryer. Here I have some warm water. I'm just going to dunk the miniature into the warm water, not boiling, just hot, and now we can bend that piece back into shape. Once it's in the position you like, you need to dunk it into cold water to snap freeze it into position. There we go. I think that's pretty straight. All fixed. Now after assembly, some miniatures may have an unsightly gap where two pieces were joined together. When you're starting out, you can just ignore these gaps, but later on I'll do a video where we'll talk about gap filling with green stuff and liquid green stuff. You may also want to texture bases with sand at this point. We call this basing. I'll do another video on basing at a later point. For now, just paint it green for grass or brown for dirt. You can always base over it later. It is at this point that I always scrub my miniatures. This removes the mold release agent, which coats the model to prevent it sticking in its mold, but it also prevents paint from sticking to the model. So give it a good scrub with an old toothbrush in some soapy water. Whenever I'm converting my miniatures, using green stuff, or in this case grey stuff, I use Vaseline to ensure that the green stuff putty does not stick to my miniature sculpting tool. The Vaseline also stops the paint from sticking, so I need to give it a good scrub or the paint will come off at a later point. Cleaning your model like this ensures that the undercoat spray that we're about to put on it will have a very good adhesion, which means less paint chips later down the line. Now I'm going to go rinse her in regular water. There we go. Sorry, I'm trying to say water for you non-Australians. Water. That's difficult. After this step, take care not to pick up your miniature by the body of the miniature itself. Touch it only by the base. The reason for this is that our hands, our skin, contains natural oils which is designed to moisturize our skin. But paint does not stick over the top of oil, so if you put dirt or oil on the model, even though it's only a little bit, it can stop the paint from sticking, which will result in more chips later along the line. I do not protect my miniatures, my gaming miniatures, with any sort of gloss or dull coat spray protection. Nothing. Taking care in this step to make sure that your model is clean and that your primer is applied correctly will greatly reduce your chance of chips. Once your miniature is completely dry, it's time to apply your primer. This is the step that many miniature painters get wrong, even the ones who've been doing it for a few years. They over-prime their models. Yes, that's actually a thing. Have you ever slipped over on ice or a freshly polished floor? It's the same thing with miniatures. The miniature paint needs a little bit of roughness on the surface in order to be able to grip onto the model. If the surface of your model is completely smooth, then the paint will have a harder time adhering. Now, if you are spraying your spray paint on so thick that it sticks to itself, it'll just form another smooth layer. So you've wasted your spray paint, you've wasted your time, and you haven't actually helped your miniature hold the paint in any way. In fact, you've made it more likely that your paint will chip. What you need to do is just a very, very smooth, light primer so that the model has tooth, which means a very, very slight microscopic texture that we don't see, but the paint will notice. The paint can tell. Well, here we are outside. I hope the light is okay. I've got my miniatures all ready to go, stuck with blue tack, which is hobby tack, I think, for you guys. You can also use double-sided sticky tape. This is just on a stick that I used to stir the paint when we were painting our house. You can also put it on a raised up box. It's just to make it more easy to get to all of the different angles. Now, you want to hold it about 20 centimeters away. I've already shaken this can. Make sure you shake your can before use. And do short controlled bursts so that you don't have a chance of overdoing the primer, like so. I'm just changing the angle, getting it from all sides. Now you want to stop when you can see the color of your primer and still see part of the miniature color showing through from underneath. So I'll show you guys these inside so it's a better look, but camera, not gonna happen. And here we have the undercoated model. So you can see the white of the undercoat, but you can also see the red color of the plastic and the green stuff work that I did showing through beneath the undercoat. This is enough. If you have it completely white or completely black, you have over primed your model and the paint will not stick so well. It's prone to chipping. You do not need to do it any more than this. As for color recommendations, it's usually better for beginners to start in black because it is more forgiving. White tends to show up your mistakes a little bit more, but for me, I just go black if it's a dark miniature, white if it's a bright colorful miniature. That's it. Well, thank you for watching. Likes, shares, and comments are appreciated. See you next time.